Hi YouTubers, my name is Ed Cornell from Long Island, New York. I work in the public sector. Job 1 being computer technician for a small business. Job 2 being in retail. Name I will non-disclose due to their strict policy and standards, which I'm up here to protect. The three questions I get asked a lot, oddly enough, in retail is this my normal voice? What happened to my voice? Or do I have laryngitis? Now, this question sometimes could go a week or two without being asked towards me, or it could be asked a couple of times during the week. Um, Obviously, this question gets asked, like I said, quite a lot, so I just let it roll off of me. Um, Kids do ask me that question too, usually when I'm speaking to their parents. Once again, since I work in retail, I have to let it roll off of me, and because I don't need them calling corporate to complain that I treated a customer very rudely. Um, but yeah, this is my normal voice. Um, there was no accident that caused my voice or anything like that. Um, Usually, when kids are between 10, 15, when they hit puberty, their voice usually starts to crack and drop. Puberty came and went for me, and the voice has not dropped. Um, when I hear myself talk to other people, my voice sounds perfectly normal. Right today, it sounds a bit on the high side. I do have an idea that it sounds high. Obviously, when I play this video back, which I will before uploading to, I would hear how high pitched the voice is. I've heard it many times before. I've recorded my voice. This is not the first time I've recorded my voice. Yes, it is the first time I'm recording a video for YouTube, but this is not the first time I've heard my voice. Um, some of those customers that have asked me have told me they are doctors and speech therapists. And yes, I have seen a speech therapist for 11 years from kindergarten up to 11th grade. If you have noticed in some of my words that I'm saying that the letter R sounds a little funny, that was the main thing that was addressed in speech. Um, and why I had to have speech pretty much the whole time when I was in schooling, except for college. Um, so that obviously might have something to do with it. But anyway, the only thing I could really talk to you about my voice, and I think I'm going to leave this video deliberately uncut, so you know I'm not, even though I do have some video skills, I deliberately will leave this uncut and uncensored. So obviously you know that this is my real voice and not something I'm just making up as a voice impersonation. Um, I have actually gotten a couple of people that actually have told me that I should go into voice impersonations. Um, I am obviously going to record some funny voices, not now, just to hear what they sound like, to see if they're even worthwhile to throw them up on YouTube. Um, but to satisfy those customers and people that have asked me those questions, I will be actually looking into seeing a doctor, two, three, however it takes. Obviously, my health insurance dictates on where I possibly could see him and vice versa. You know, the typical politics that have to be involved here. Um, but anyway, I will be seeing a doctor about it, so I could see what could be causing my voice to be high-pitched. I have an idea what it could be. I have done, as a computer technician and me being somewhat geeky, I have done some of my own research online. And some of the research I've looked up actually does kind of fit with how I feel. As I might have said before that I have allergies. I linked up the two to try to see if one affected the other, and it actually does. A quite common item that everyone has is postnasal drip. And allergies have a major play when it comes to postnasal drip. Like I said, everyone has postnasal drip, some severe more than others. Mine happens to be severe. As I might have said before, I have seasonal allergies. Seasonal allergies is basically what usually gets affected is something in the air quality, usually pollen from plants or weed or that sort of thing gets picked up from the plants, the grass, wherever, can be carried in the air. I don't have to explain science here. I'm sure most of you have understand how pollen moves in the air. That sort of thing. Wind, rain, animals, that sort of thing. But like I had said, that allergies plays a major key with postnasal drip, and mine fluctuates sometimes very quickly on a daily basis. Could go from anywhere being dry, where I instantly get sore throats talking after a couple of minutes, to being swamped or being drowned in what I would consider drowning in the postnasal drip in the back of my throat. Postnasal drip is actually mucus that is manufactured in the nose cavity that drips down the back of the throat to lubricate the vocal cords, lubricate the throat so you don't get a sore throat. And when people get colds or when they have allergy issues, usually what ends up happening is the nose clogs up and then you have not too much drippage back there, or you may have postnasal drip mucus, but it may be extremely thick. Usually the consistency is if you were to take cheese and heat it up in the microwave or the oven, and then it becomes like a string cheese, but hot. In this case, obviously, it's not hot. In this case, it's the consistency of that, very thick. So I do obviously feel it in the back of my throat, and sometimes I've had to do multiple clearings of my throat, usually sometimes with aggressive force from my body, abdomen, using the lungs to force it to clear my throat. It's probably why I have strong abdomen muscles as well as strong neck clearing of my throat muscles. That sort of thing. But yeah, like I had said, is everyone gets postnasal drip. Usually it's a constant flow. Mine changes from 0 to 10, sometimes in 2.2 seconds. And it can be quite annoying, possibly to someone that doesn't know me personally. With me, I live with it on a daily basis. Sometimes after I eat a meal, it's hard for me to keep my throat clear enough, so I have to constantly clear my throat. So sometimes I have noticed when I clear my throat in front of people, they look at me like I might be calling attention to myself. Sorry, guys. I'm really not calling attention to myself. It just happens to be me just trying to survive here and live. Um, but yeah, I feel that postnasal drip and allergies have a major key in why my voice might be high pitched. I have looked into, not 100% sure, but sometimes when you get thick postnasal drip on the vocal cords, it can make them inflamed. Some doctors have told me in passing that it sounds like my vocal cords are inflamed. Some of them would obviously recommend having me have it checked out and looked. And guess what? That's why I'm creating this video. I'm creating this video because I will be answering those questions as we go on. I will obviously have more in-depth research. Obviously, a doctor's probably going to have me undergo a CAT scan so they can take a look at what's going on down there. I have had in a doctor's office, they have looked in my throat to look at the vocal cords. Obviously, I was diagnosed with gastric reflux disease. I do take medication for it. I'm not sure if I know that has a small part to it, but I also know that could cause esophageal cancer. And obviously, that's another thing that I would have to look into and see what's going on with that. So I can subdue it with medication and that sort of thing. In terms of the only reason why I'm looking into this is because a couple of people that I know that used to work for those type of doctors have explained that I should really have it looked at now, so I have an understanding of what could be done or what can't be done. I probably would recommend to them that I would want to go to an allergy doctor, so I could have a better understanding of what I could be allergic to or what am I allergic to. I could be allergic to simple food I eat on a daily basis and not even realize it. The only reason why I know I'm allergic probably to pollen and dust and dander and that sort of stuff is only because every day is like a new day for me. I wake up and I have to swallow my gastric reflux medication in the morning, and that's not a small pill, that's a good size. And that size is sometimes hard to take because I find out that I might be having a small allergic reaction to some common element in the air, which I really don't know. And how my body reacts to it is the nose swells up, the throat starts to swell up. No, we're not talking about swelling up to the point where I can't breathe. I can breathe, but it's like breathing through a straw in a sense, or snorkeling. I have not snorkeled, so I can't even really give that uh, a reference point. But I know that if you were to breathe through a straw, it's a small area. I also do know that I do end up sleeping with my mouth wide open. That's very possible that that's having something to do with it as well. Once again, unfortunately, my allergies tend to encompass a lot of my medical issues that I do have on a daily basis. I don't think I have sleep apnea, to be honest with you, but that's another thing that could be looked into. The reason why I don't seem to think I have sleep apnea, because whenever I sleep in my own bed, I sleep differently than when I'm visiting someone or that sort of thing, which is also interesting. I find I sleep differently in in other settings. Very strange. So I don't know if going for testing for sleep apnea is really going to help, because I may not actually sleep at the doctor's office as I should. And then again, my active brain being the way it is, I may never get to sleep in the whole time I'm there. So that's also something interesting. But in terms of the voice, this video is going to be continued. I'm just making this as a documentary so that way we could see and I can inform those people that may want to respect me and not talk to me about the voice. Like I said, I don't care, but I thank them for respecting that anyway. And I will keep them informed, as well as you, on the progress of what I receive and results I receive back from the doctor. And if we do have to undergo surgery or anything of that matter, and whatever the case may be, then obviously there will be some downtime. I obviously will not have to work for maybe a small period of time, hopefully. I know my day job doesn't want me to take any time off, which I'm happy about, because that's my career and I love fixing computers for a living. But yeah, that's basically it. I just, obviously, to be continued, and keep you updated in my busy life. I'm not going to do frequent videos, and obviously I'm going to have to schedule a time for the doctor, and the next video could take a week, 2 weeks. Next video could take a couple of months. I'm sure all of you people have been to the doctor at some point in time in your life, and the doctor may have wanted you to come back for a second visit, or go for testing and then come back. So I think we all know what the procedure is here. First thing is to go to a doctor and speak to him about it and tell him what I'm pretty much telling you right now to the doctor, and see what he says. And then go possibly for some testing and that sort of thing. Obviously, the reason why I'm deliberately talking this long is I wanted you to understand that, or I wanted to let you know my full vocal range, even though it's mainly one frequency high, but most voice have random, if you actually look at your voice on computer, or if you ever recorded your voice, it's actually not a flat line. It's a bunch of frequencies put together that makes up noises, and the other people perceive it as a certain frequency. Obviously, right now my throat is actually getting sore. Probably the weather we are. This is November here in New York at 1:51 in the morning. Usually the time I have to do stuff like this, which probably makes me tired for my day job. But obviously something like this, talking for this good amount of time, I could talk hours without any problem, and today I have probably talked, I'm not sure how long this clip is going for at the moment, but already it's starting to dry out. So the first thing I would have to do is drink some water or something to lubricate my throat so I don't have a scratchy voice. So if you want to stay in tuned, there will be more videos to come. Obviously, like I had said, doctors will take time to diagnose and look into it. So don't hold me to a time schedule. And with my busy life working 2 jobs, finding time to do a next video even after I get the results might be tricky. So stay tuned, and I will hope to give you some more information as this progresses.